This is a
Good time, Charlie?
production.
On your marks, get set, play.
I love that.
Good favor.
That I really like.
That is delicious.
Bakers, your time is up.
What's good? What's good, people? Welcome back. Episode 2 of what we ended up naming Stage Crunchy Milk Presents Krème Patisserie, which is Anthony joint. But, of course, Anthony also named, Stage Crunchy Milk part of this. So he is the namer of these situations. A podcast cast. Anthony is the name guy. That's just what, as it just dawns on me. So
We
that's why
tried.
we give it up to him. But I was listening to What's the Tea last week, and Nick was talking about how she was watching British Bake Off again. And I was like, oh, okay. And then just sitting at my desk today, I was like, let's see what she up to this night. So I hit up NicJu and said, what you doing tonight? And she said, that's near my bedtime. But if you gonna talk Bake Off, down. So I got NicJu on the show with us. What's
What
good?
up? What up, everybody? I've done my skincare routine. I'm in my pajamas, but I'm ready to talk.
It's cool. It's cool. You just drift off right after. You know what I'm saying? Plus, we run this in a little tight. We run a little tight, so it's okay. So it's Great British Bake Off, Series 12. I think they do. They have, if I go look it up on whatever the English side of the world, they renumbered them when they went over to Channel 4. So they call it like Series 5 or 7 or whatever number they are on over there. But
It's 9 on Netflix.
it's Series 12. I know it's Group 9. It's so I don't even. The Netflix is confusing unnecessarily. But we call it Series 12. This is episode 2, and this week was Biscuit Week, as the tradition soldiers forth. And as you all know, maybe you don't know, biscuits is cookies in England. Well, no, we call biscuits cookies, and they call biscuits scones. Yeah, that's about right. Yeah, okay. And we start this week signature challenge, 24 brandy snaps. Something I had to go look up. Brandy snaps have nothing to do with brandy. It's from the word branded, meaning burnt.
Oh,
So they're most likely called branded snaps at some point. And you can hear how the English talk on this particular show. They be wilding. So
What's so crazy is most of the time when I have stuff,
yeah,
or I haven't had what they made before, but I actually had this. They have these at Heinen's, but they're made totally wrong apparently
why do you think they're made wrong?
because they don't have any snap to them. They're always super soft and
maybe they're stale by the time you get them.
well.
So-
According to this show, when they cook it, the filling is too moist.
Yes, also that. And since
So-
I was not here last week, I would like to proclaim my bays of the season.
Please.
We're going to start with Roshika. She's freaking adorable.
That's Anthony's boo-boo.
And then George, y'all was discussing the melanin situation. Like, hey, how close is Greece to Africa? Because my man looks
I'm just saying, right?
brown.
He got a shade. Talk about his yaya this week, and I'm like, okay.
The beard hair looks kind of kinky. And he seems to be one of those humans that is bald by preference. Like, he didn't have to go bald. Like, George, that's they. And Chigs,
I was looking at Chig on this rewatch day. I was like, first of all, Chigs don't ever smile, but then he laughed at his during the super or whatever the last one. Why can I not remember what I'm talking about? Like, Showstopper.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh look, he can smile, and he seemed generally happy with himself. So I'm like, you Chigs.
Yeah, those are mine. Sorry,
All
go
right,
ahead.
fair enough. Well,
What do you think about Giuseppe? I feel like he's a very well put together man.
Oh no, the hair is just.
I knew it was the hair. I knew it. But he keep it together.
He
Keep
just
it
didn't
like
fit for me. I mean, our boy Jazino, he's a good-looking man too.
yeah, he got handsome bloke. And let's correct. I'm saying Nick pointed this out to me and told me Jazino isn't sassy as what I thought he was. And this week, especially this week, you definitely noticed he was not as up and at it as he was
He was
last.
scared.
Yeah, but he's more just Trinidadian, which I don't know no Trini dudes, and except for Fife Dog, God rest, and so I don't have a level of comparison to work with, and that's good information to have. I had to explain what sassy meant to Dan at this last record of the main show. He was like, "Don't they just mean gay?" I'm like, "No."
See that, and that's why I texted you. I was like, because I know that y'all aren't homophobic, but somebody else could hear that and get their feathers ruffled.
Which is why we are correcting it right now. So that's what's up.
And I don't think sassy was an accurate description. He just because he's way too laid back and chill to be sassy. He a nigga.
So take that. That's the gospel, okay? That's what's up. All right, ginger snap. No, brandy snaps. Forgive me. So I had to look up what the hell is in a brandy snap. So I'm gonna give you just a basic brandy snap recipe. Golden syrup, which is something I hear all about all the time in Europe. Basically corn syrup, but it's not. It's made with something else, probably beets or some shit. Flour, ginger, cream, sugar, butter. The one way, the way you're supposed to make it, boil that shit down. Not boil. In fact, you're not supposed to let it boil. Heat it through, let it all dissolve, and throw it in the oven. And I mean, right quick. Just look at it. They got to come out still hot so you can mold them. And if you don't do it that way, then they overbake. You can go from a nice little tasty caramel kind of tasting cookie to just burnt sugar, I guess, in a heartbeat.
Oh, yep, you were right. Refined sugar cane or sugar beet juice.
Yeah. But I noticed that, I noticed this time when I on the rewatch for this, that Amanda used what they described as the cold method. She didn't do none of the boiling stuff on the stove. She just mixed her ingredients together like you would make cookie dough, and they worked out. They had a delicateness to them. But then I don't know. Amanda had me wild. I was kind of.
I feel like she had mixed reviews for the show for the not the showstopper, the signature.
Yeah.
I feel like everybody except Jurgen and Giuseppe had mixed reviews. Like pretty much everybody, they were like, "It's delicious, but it looks funny," or like, "It looks funny." And it's not, I don't know. I just don't feel like they loved really anybody's except for two people.
Yeah.
That was a hard challenge too.
But my man George, well, your man George per se, was eating off that not Mary Berry, that Prue sensational. Like that shit, like you can see it lift him through the rest of the day. I was like, all right, I hear you, man.
Prue,
eat off
Prue
of that
the
too.
African queen, Prue. I didn't know Prue was from Africa.
Yeah, South Africa. I would love to hear her talk. What is it in South Africa?
Afrikaans.
It's Afrikaans. Okay, I would love to hear her little Dutch ass go on. It's like, let me hear you talk something. Was
Her
you there
name
doing
Matthews.
like? Was you there doing apartheid?
Probably, yes. Look how old she is. Yes.
81 years old. We just
that's why they can't stand no fucking seasoning, and that's why all the black people be going home because every time they serve them some seasonings, they be like, "Oh, it's too much." Mad.
Once again this week, my man Jurgen showed the fuck up.
Mm-hmm.
Jurgen is a physicist, which we found out this week. Which I was like, I knew he had to be some kind of science tech minded dude. It's just like the way he does what he does, and he extra German. And I love his little accent because he sounds like somebody doing an impression of what's the dude? What's the documentary filmmaker at?
Not Lawrence Fishburne. No, the guy who made Grizzly Man.
Werner Herzog. I did right. I wrote it down. Werner Herzog.
I knew the movie. I can't remember the name.
Did you watch Mandalorian?
No, like kinda.
Okay, so when the dude he initially was bringing Baby Yoda to, that's Werner Herzog.
Okay, yeah. No, I'm obsessed with Jurgen and his crazy eyebrows and like he's just. I think him being whatever scientist he is kind of a cheat code as far as baking goes.
Yeah, because baking is science.
Mm-hmm.
I love how once again. Well, we'll get there later. Hold on. Let's see what I got in the notes. Who was Prue? Prue was talking to. I got my names. Don't worry about it. Prue was talking to Rochika.
Mm-hmm.
When she said, "You got me a one," when you put that extra tablespoon of what is it, brandy in her snaps. She's like, I know you like a little extra. She goes, "You got me a one," and I love that. I love British slang in general. Like I definitely love like some London grime type slang, but like every now and again, just the general English vernacular, I fuck with it.
My other candidate for should have gone, who I feel like bombed this challenge, but because they're so nice, they didn't straight up tell her she bombed. Lizzie.
Hmm.
Oh my god, she going home next week. I'm gonna say that to you right now.
I hope so.
She don't make it out of next week.
I really hope so, because she's just
She don't
nothing
care.
that she's done has been great. She doesn't care in a way that kind of pisses me off. That Harry Potter shit. I'm like, oh, you're gonna support the trans folk instead of practicing your bake? That's what we're doing, Lizzie.
I wrote here on the notes, Lizzie didn't practice.
Mhm.
And I was salty about it. When Matt shook Jurgen's hand and he said it don't mean nothing, but Jurgen told him it means everything to me, or a lot to me. Vanessa started crying, literally.
I almost cried as well.
It hit me in my feels. I kept it together. That's because Ted Lasso done took me for a ride this season, so it's been a couple times.
Man.
Ugly crying on that show. So this one was a little gentler, but it was really nice to see that he was owed a handshake. There's no way you could not be told everything was so perfect and then not get a handshake. It's bullshit. It's very upset Paul Hollywood.
I think it's also too, like, some of his best stuff has been for the showstopper, and
Yeah.
Paul doesn't shake hands for the showstopper, but he really wanted to, especially this week with Jurgen.
Yeah.
I think Giuseppe won this one for me.
Really? Well, you know what? His was kind of on. Plus, when they said raised in a family of bakers, this
Right.
aircraft engineer,
Right.
I'm like, bruh, you are everything. Man, Europe is I kind of dig Europe as a whole. I shouldn't, because it's just all kinds of, conflict.
Yeah.
Everything that started bad was started there. But
Started there.
y'all got anything else to say about Signature?
Mm-mm.
All right, let's move on then. The technical challenge this week.
Jammy
Biscuit. Jammy Biscuits, aka Jammy Dodgers. If you've had them, and if you know, you know. They wanted a dozen of them, and they held the instructions up to the screen because Paul was so adamant. Read your instructions. They hold up to the screen.
No.
It was like a sentence, a paragraph, and a sentence, and I'm just like, Paul, you suck, man. You gotta be. I'm not saying you gotta be more giving, but uncool, man.
I mean, I kind of feel like some of these things are. It's always somebody who already knows how to do it.
Yeah.
It's always that one person, like, they're supposed to look like this and taste like this. So I kind of feel like it's part of the fun of the challenge. It's kind of like the bad singers at the beginning of
American Idol.
American Idol, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, those people have to sing through 4 rounds before they get on TV.
Which means they know they bad. They picked them to be bad on TV. It's the worst. That's why I never could fuck with that show, and I don't fuck with it now. So you got to make it short, though. Basically, the same biscuits Ted Lasso gives his boss. Ted Lasso comes up a lot in my mind, I got to tell you. So you got to make it short, though. But they had very specific instructions, and what the instructions were fluted edge on the cutter. They gave him a cutter. They gave him a stamp. So they gave him some supplies this week, which is not a normal thing. But was like, if I'm giving you these tools to use, it's for specific reasons. Make sure you know what the fuck you're doing. And Roshika just fucking
Sucked it up.
just how sweet. I was just like, I gave you the message. Also, the fluted edge is smaller than the round edge. All she had to do was hit that bitch on the fluted edge, and they would have been fine. Didn't realize.
What she tried to do, but then she had to put the dough back in the refrigerator. Like, she barely had time in the oven.
For real, because them hoes was raw when they came out.
And
she's trying to cut them while they were still cooking. And I'm like, no, don't do that. It was bad. Oh my goodness. It was very upsetting.
Yeah, and she burnt her jelly, which messed up her time too.
Did she burn her jelly too?
Did.
Oh fuck! For fuck's sake.
She was like, I've burnt it. Like, she didn't even have no panic in her voice.
Now, see, I know Jerzita was laid back, but she is just like, you know.
Yeah, what else?
Yeah.
I'm not mature enough to watch Paul and Prue bite into something and like goo jump out. Because Prue, she looks you dead in the eye when she's like tasting your food. And because Paul brought this when she was tasting it, she just looking at him with it just said, just like skeeted out the hard part. Was cracking up.
Buttercream just flying. Oh my god! I wrote down in my notes that Paul dropped the dime in the while they were testing stuff to say that the dough had to be chilled, and of course I knew that's what was going to come back and haunt some of the bakers, and indeed a couple of them it did. Their butter basically melted right out of their damn cookies, and they made gross flat ass cookies. Not gross. Everybody's cookies seem to taste good this week, so.
The bottom three was Roshika, Christelle, who surprised me, but she usually does really well, and our boy Jersey now.
She made Swedish fish when she tried to make jam. It was real bad. I was like, you straight up made candy, you poor woman. So, basically, Jurgen took this one again. Jurgen, look, as I watched him make his, everybody else just shaking sugar all over the place. But Jurgen had his tops separate, shook the sugar on, and then assembled them hoes.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely gorgeous. Because what did it say? The hearts have to show through. And he even said it out loud. I'm like, bruh.
He knew as soon as he heard the challenge. But that's how I know I can't bake, because they'll be like, make the dough. And that's the entire instruction. I would be lost. And then it will be like, bake. No temperature, no time. You just have to have a feel for how long certain things take.
It's almost always 350.
Yeah. Yeah.
In Fahrenheit, people. I'm sorry. I'm saying I can't do. I guess if I thought about it, I could flip it to metric, but still.
And then Maggie was like super disappointed and crying and stuff. And she, middle of the pack, she didn't do that bad.
She kept saying she had the shakes, and they kept closing up on her shaking. And that I don't know. It bothers me. I feel like you're making her like out. I know she is old because they said she's been retired for 12 years.
Yeah, she's like in her 60s. She's. She look older than she is. I think she's only like 65.
I'm just saying, then props to her for being able to retire early, because or maybe who knows, maybe that's on time in England. I don't know when their retirement age is, but I was like, damn, you've been retired for that long. So I like that she is just a lady about the world. You know what I'm saying? None of that, Maggie the grandma or any of that shit right there. Nah, this lady is somebody who's just like, I'm living my life out of my dope little minivan or whatever the hell this is, and I like that in her. I don't normally like the old ladies on Bake Off, but she got something about her.
Yeah.
It's like the opposite for me. I usually love the old ladies. I don't like her. There's something about her. I'm just like, I don't know what it is.
Ever since that old lady took the bacon Alaska out the freezer, I've been off the old ladies.
Oh my God, the OG. They named my man Jurgen the Baking Terminator.
Yeah.
And I get it. It's kind of funny. I can get a giggle off of that, but it's like, bro, he's precise. I guess that is Terminator-esque. But
Giuseppe named him that. He's like, he's not Austrian, he's German.
But that's close enough. Oh my God. His name is Giuseppe. We got to step on that for a minute, man. That is wildly Italian.
Like, it is the most Italian thing you could be named besides Mario.
Or Luigi or something. I'm just saying, Giuseppe and Jurgen are both the most stereotypical German and Italian dudes. It's shocking.
Very.
Like, I can't believe. Well, yes, I can, but still. And that was technical. Let me see if I made anything else about technical. Oh man, I meant to tell you about Jurgen saying "lacy" like stained glass windows in his little cute German accent. I'm like, you're a normal man. I just want to pinch your cheek.
And the first thing Prue said when she saw it, look at the wonderful lace quality. I was like, look at our boy. Killing him. He's killing him.
They're not ready for it. Anything else about technical that sticks out to y'all?
The placement.
Go on.
Like I was surprised about. I mean, after seeing the outcome of the show about you know who placed where. That was
Yeah.
pretty surprising.
Who did what on that particular?
I just wrote down the last three: Rashika, Christelle, and Jerzina.
Luckily,
And then
they
the
are
top two was Jurgen and
Jurgen and
Giuseppe.
Giuseppe.
all right. Luckily, whoever keeps this Wikipedia does a damn fine job.
Well, that's dope. They have the order.
Yeah. So 11th was Rohika. 10th was Christelle. 9th, Jerzino. 8th was George. 7th, Chigs. 6 is Lizzie. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 is who? 5 is Maggie. 4 is Amanda. 3 was Freya. And we ain't really talk about Freya because Freya just trucking along.
She was just eyed this week until the showstopper. Her showstopper was really good.
Yeah.
I mean, what her little espresso joints, Prue liked them.
And then Paul said they were too strong. So that's something like everybody had mixed reviews. Either Prue liked it and Paul didn't. Paul liked it, Prue didn't. It was sloppy, or like everybody.
Oh my god! When I saw Jerzino just slopping the goddamn
He had
mix into
time
them,
issues.
it's like, sir, I knew.
But you know what bothered me about that? George put a flavor in I had never fucking heard of in my life, and they didn't complain about the seasoning in his. But Jerzino's was too much seasoning for them. Like,
well, it was just a mess to me. That's what offended me about it. I was like, you got sauce hanging all off the edge and stuff. George's was that what the hell was it? I want to look that down. I don't see that if they have it written down.
But Lizzie's was congealed.
No, that's the word
was
she
on purpose.
used. She wanted to be
Which
congealed
is
like
disgusting.
it's a
That is
disgusting turn of phrase.
She wanted it to be like an apple, McDonald's apple pie.
Right.
Yeah.
But congealed, that's so offensive.
It was an awful word. Cypriot brandy snaps is what he called his, and I forgot the flavoring used.
But there was like an M or something.
Yeah, it was an M. It was something in orange. I mean, Paul fucked with it because, of course, as we find out later in the show, Paul done hung out in Cyprus for a little bit in his life.
And they think that's his daddy.
That was a good joke. I don't care what nobody say. I was like, okay, Matt, I see you, bro. That is a hilarious joke. But yeah, man, it's like Freya just kind of just did what she had to do this week, and sometimes that's agreeable.
Yeah, I kind of feel like as time goes on, I feel like she's a strong baker. I think she's in my top 5.
Yeah, I can see that goes easily. Yeah.
It's always a young person, an old person, and the dude.
Yeah, a dude that surprised the shit out of you, though.
I just think if you go from like being in contention to being star baker to not showing up at all, like, I had issues. I feel like she should have been talked about in the gonna go home this week category. I would have liked to hear Paul Hollywood say, Freya's gotta come through the showstopper.
That'll probably be next week.
Well, speaking of showstopper, this week was a 3D interactive toy.
Made out of cookies.
I'm sitting there with Vanessa, and they do this every year, and I'm like, if you don't make it out of gingerbread, you fuck it up.
You got to be a stupid motherfucker to make a structure out of a sugar cookie.
Yeah. And everybody but one person made theirs out of gingerbread because it's what you build with. It's structurally sound.
And her shit looked like it was on the way to the glue factory.
Quite literally.
Yeah.
But, well, clearly that was a man.
What is the but? What is the but? Because I don't understand how that doesn't send you home. Her shit broke.
So, Amanda made her shit out of sugar cookie. But apparently, it was the greatest sugar cookie ever created by man with this amazing honey buttercream. They could see her design work that was actually on the ship, on the horse. And we're like, that tail looks amazing. That head looks amazing. Had all this stuck together, this would have been fantastic. But I think they saw the potential.
But they're not judging potential. The point of the challenge was a 3D interactive toy, and her shit broke. She didn't even have anything to present.
Fair. You can see Nick is kind of not happy about this.
I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it. She should have carried her ass home. How your dumb ass make a sugar cookie rocking horse? Everybody, like the narrator was like, that's dumb.
I was like, that's dumb off rip. I was just like, ma'am. And I knew it was going to fall apart. I knew it was going to fall apart.
Like that, because if you nail it, then you win because you've done something incredible. She couldn't even put the shit together before it fell apart.
It started breaking right there. In my notes, I wrote, Amanda going with sugar cookie dough to impress the judges is not the move.
She should have took her ass home.
It's like, there's no point in trying to impress them if you can't pull it off. And she couldn't. And
she couldn't.
So, of these, the ones that I was like, holy shit. I was really taken aback by Christelle's. That vanity was amazing. The work she did to it, I was like, holy cow, you really, really made something lovely. Giuseppe murdered the fucking game.
Murked it. He did so well.
Any other week, any other week, Giuseppe takes it.
Yeah.
Off of that. It was gorgeous. And I was just like, wow, man, you killed it. That snooker table.
That was cool.
Bruh. I was just like, well done. Very well done.
The plane
was kind of dope. What I really liked what I noticed about the plane was that he made those candy floss, cotton candy clouds. Nobody sampled the clouds.
Right.
Nobody got a little cloud in their mouth. Like, bro, you put that effort in. Taste that. That's edible. But it was dope that he got his motor running and working. And it looked cool. And I was like, okay, well done. You presented. Freya's rocking hers was gorgeous.
It was gorgeous. Yeah. And that's the other thing. Somebody else made a rocking horse that was gorgeous, that tasted good. She should have took her ass home.
And rocked, for the matter.
Thank you.
I hated Lizzie's truck that you painted. It just seemed
raggedy.
That shit seemed like
they did my boy dirty, because there was a lot more raggedy things presented that also didn't taste that good.
Yeah. Okay, so Jerzino tried to make a boat. I'm gonna leave it right there because I don't think he really successfully pulled off that boat.
And he's so laid back and chill that he was just not trying to stress himself out about it. He was just like, this is what it is. Because I think if it would have been structurally sound, he could have taken more time to paint it and have it look nicer. But as soon as them sales started failing, he was like, oh, well.
He kind of defeated himself a little bit.
He did.
That paint job was awful. I wrote something about
but Lizzie's was
the sugar
trash. Paul even told her she cheated by having them painted.
This little get out of jail free card with that painting shit.
I'm not saying that Jerzino's wasn't awful, but he had something to present that tasted good.
A fair point. Rough and ready must mean something totally different in English.
Yeah.
So
trash. It means trash. You do that shit together and it's trash.
Mary Berry would always say, what would she say? She would call it rustic, I think, is what she used to throw around when some shit looked fucked up. Like a very rustic look to it. And it was just a bad paint job. The sales was busted on that shit. I didn't really understand what he was trying to do with them sales. I give them rice paper so they were supposed to be edible, but it's like you didn't do nothing with them. Make a flag out them hoes. There was supposed to be lights in it. The lights were supposed to turn on the inside of the boat.
Yeah. At least it was a boat.
Was it though?
It was. I knew what it was.
So,
and did you see the Prue broke Rashika thing? She tried to
off the
river and just broke.
Woman. That pinball, I didn't get piece of that. Rashika of pinball machine was dope.
It was.
I was like, really well done. But she had to bounce back from those awful Jamie Dodgers. Just the worst. She could have went home this weekend. She's not done what she had to do in
raw.
Yeah. So I was very happy she came back with a delicious crisp bake. They were thoroughly impressed with that cardamom really coming through. What is cardamom?
It's isn't it a spice in the turmeric family?
I know, but what am I using cardamom? What am I using cardamom in my normal everyday?
in like a spicy cookie, right?
It's considered a warm spice, like but I'm trying to. It's related to something else
Yeah,
that
'cause
I don't
I'm
know.
always hearing about cardamom pods and so forth.
Well, it's Indian,
Oh
so
yeah, you
it's
know,
they
colonization.
it's a piney, fruity, almost menthol-like flavor. Has some health benefits if you have gallstones, lower blood pressure, improve breathing, and aid weight loss. But
Damn,
like what?
cardamom putting in that work.
But like what food do you make it? Because I
But
have like a tea that has it in it.
like it's like similar to like what you would put in a five spice or a curry.
Yeah, it's saying you could do poultry, red meat, lentils,
Mm.
oranges,
Okay,
and
okay.
then mix
So
it with
low
like
cooks.
nutmeg and cinnamon.
Yeah, I just wonder if I would recognize the flavor off the rip because they seem to think it should always be in gingerbread, and I'm always like, "Am I? Is that what I'm tasting when I'm eating gingerbread?" And I just hadn't recognized it.
Don't you take some ginger?
Yeah, that's what I would think. But ginger and molasses. But like I said, we be doing things different over here. So I don't know. Cardamom. We have to look into that a little further because it keeps coming up. So I'd like to know more about it. Everything, man, this horse was busted. That damn beach house.
Oh my god!
Now,
My
now you talking
god!
about okay? Look, if you want to argue that Maggie should have went her ass home, got you. We can make that one happen. That
The only reason why I don't think they would have sent Maggie home is because they really liked her. Oh, actually, they were kind of lukewarm on her things.
they did not like her signature, her
At
brandy
least,
snatch.
at least we knew what it was. The people had heads and arms.
What was the
It's
interactive?
good.
What was the interactive element there?
Well, when she told them what she was making, Prue was like, "That's not really a toy," but then tried to not be shady about saying that she's old as dust. So the toys that she played with when she was little was like a piece of wood whittled into a something. Like she don't know what toys are, is what they were trying to say.
Little post-war children. I'm just, hey man. I like I said, if you want to make an argument for that for Maggie should have went home, I can definitely sign off on that
I
one.
would. I agree. Maggie could have went home. Amanda could have took her ass home. I just don't think that
That is actually who I think is going to go home next. Now that I think about it,
Maggie.
Amanda.
Oh yeah. Hmm.
She already reaching the lengths of the limits of her baking skill.
And I think that's why I'm mad the most about Jersino because he's a good baker. He just
Yeah.
the time constraint is it fucks with him. Like if he had a half hour more every time, he probably could have figured it out. But he's never going to win a competition that Christelle is in as far as decorating goes because
Yeah.
she's like her and Giuseppe and Jurgen are the best decorators in the crib. But like if next week is bread week,
Yeah.
your boy could have done something for bread week.
Could he have, or would he have gone out? Would he have gone out for underproofing some shit, or
No,
overproofing some shit, which is even
no, I
worse?
think he would have excelled in bread week. Meanwhile, Amanda gonna give us some
This is why she
flour
going home next week.
pockets.
She can't exactly. She couldn't even stir her damn dough the first week. So, anyway, also speaking of Christelle, when they were talking about her, that she has sisters named
Oh,
Chanel, and Corel, and I was like, that is your mama. Your mama and daddy just did that to y'all. Christelle, Chevelle, and Corel. And yes, they was all fine. Good lord, that's a problem.
yeah,
That's what colonization be doing.
mm-hmm. It was all fine.
But my man Jurgen come through with the win again. As I thought about it, Jurgen old enough to definitely have grown up in a divided Germany.
Yes,
So I had to look at where the Black Forest was. Was like, what side of the wall was you on, brother? He should have been safely on the western side, is what it looks like. But still poor because it was a post-war situation. So I get it. So my man was like, we ain't really have a lot of toys either. But his shit was interactive. Jurgen ain't had no toys. Mag ain't had no toys. But somebody understood the brief.
I mean, was it interactive or did the windmill just go around?
That's all you needed to do. You spin that bitch. That's what he would have did in his granddaddy's yard.
Did she have like a little surfboard that you could drag or whatever?
No, I did not. If she did, I ain't seen
I
that
think
shit.
so. I think it was like you pulled a lever and like a person was riding a boogie board or some shit.
Watching Jurgen straight up file
Right.
his gingerbread, let you know how structurally sound gingerbread is and how you should bake with gingerbread when you build and shit, not sugar dough.
I wouldn't have been mad if Giuseppe won either.
Yeah, that was basically a coin toss because they both did fine in signature. Giuseppe was like second in tech,
He was
right?
always second, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Man, always that bridesmaid. Poor guy. But when you got to do like Jurgen gone just walk his ass to the finals like Raul did that year.
Raul was getting in their ass.
And they ain't want to believe it. He was too quiet and too meek and just like, I'm just going to be over here and baking. And that's what's up. I mean, because I watched Jurgen talking about his creme pat that he made for his brandy snaps. It's like, oh yeah, I worked on this. I'm glad I figured out how to get chai to spice right. As you can see, it used 50 milligrams of cardamom and cinnamon and shit. I'm like, yeah, yo ass a scientist.
And I don't think he has a weakness. I think if anything's going to take Jurgen out, it'll be like an element. Like it's hella hot in the 10th day and nobody's dough will rise or some shit.
So we'll see how he does in bread week. I wonder, because bread is always that great equalizer. Because people who can bake treats all of a sudden got to start working with yeast or other rising agents. It's just like, shit don't work when it's hot. So you got to be ready for it. But Jurgen did smooth walk away once again with Starbreaker this week. Greatly deserved. Like I said, I really love Giuseppe's of Showstopper. So had it went Giuseppe's way, I would have been like, I can see why. But Jurgen did it 2 weeks straight. It's a problem. Because now they're going to be gunning for him next week. They're going to be out to get him. Everything he do is going to be like extra critiqued and looked at. I'm like, Jurgen, man, you know you come through better than this. I already know what Paul going to say to him. And it's going to be some bullshit. If he don't give my man a handshake, it's going to be a problem.
Yeah, especially, yes. This next episode, he needs to shake that man's hand. What I am afraid would happen if, like, somebody who dominates very early in the competition and then they run out of gas or, like, you know, Freya laps him a couple of times and he does something stupid in the very last challenge, like our girl from last season. What's her name?
I don't even remember.
The black lady. The internet's still mad about that shit.
Oh, yeah. My little French boo.
Yeah, I'm mad about that shit too.
She fucked herself. She really was at the end, just like, come on, girl, you had this.
But Laura shouldn't have had her ass in that final.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna watch it at first this season because of that.
Charmaine, my friend Charmaine is like, I went to go look for the new episodes and saw the old episodes and got mad all over again.
Who's that doing, dude? Richard. Richard won like Starbreaker 5 times in a row and ended up losing to Nancy?
I don't remember who won, but I remember being sick for Richard because I thought he had it in the bag.
Again, they get to the finals and just like Tom act a fool. And
I just don't see Jurgen having a weakness. Like, what is his weakness?
Like I said, I want to see what he do in Bread Week. If he come in and if he just come and show out in Bread Week, then what else can stop him? Because if you can do all of that, you can bake everything you bake over these cakes, and you can bake biscuits, and you can bake bread, then nothing you can bake everything. Those are your 3 basic things, which is probably why they do them in the order they do them in. Because after that, it's all construction shit, just building things and icing things the right way and getting your flavors right. Jurgen's a monster. He's a fucking German beast.
Y'all have a definitive top 3, Aunt? You got a definitive top 3?
Yes. But after today, at first, I kind of feel like Maggie let me down.
Yeah.
Yes.
After the first week, I thought she was really gonna be showing out, but she not. My top 3 is Jurgen, Giuseppe, and my wild card is Freya.
Same.
I have Christelle as my 3rd and Freya being my dark horse could come up.
What is going to get Christelle is the same thing I was saying get a lot of other bakers in time. She's an absolute mess.
Yeah.
She is a mess. And she
does
also
not clean up after herself.
spices.
I know, but she doesn't clean up after herself, and then ends up being it's going to end up being something gets misplaced,
She
something
gonna
that she needed.
discount.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
going to be something dumb that gets her. And I hope it don't. Truly, I don't, because I'm saying that's my little bake off boo this year. But I think that going to it right now, man. Seriously, Giuseppe and Jurgen about to start trading blows. What? Well, like I said, yeah. I mean, Italians are known for baking bread. Yeah, so I could really see some shit going down.
And I see like George, he could be a dark horse. Like George might surprise us. And like especially when they do the like cooking week. I think that's gonna be George and Giuseppe going head to head that week whenever they do some savory thing. I haven't counted what God damn it. Who else is
Chigs?
there? Yeah, I haven't counted Chigs out. I feel like he might have a little something.
He was very surprising this week with all his techniques. Like I said, he didn't do so well in the with the jammy daughters, but I mean, that shit is like I said. You had to know the secret, which was put that shit in the freezer,
Right.
flour your stamp, gently cut your little heart out. Like I said, I watched when they show Jurgen doing it, a fucking class, a technical
Right.
handbook in cookie making. You should hire that man in a factory somewhere. Just like, come make my cookies, man. But
He just
But
has
yeah.
he has a different kind of joy than most of the bakers because he is a nerd and figuring out the science part of it tickles him so much that he's like setting up challenges for himself that other people don't even know. So he's only competing against himself at this point.
I feel like I rarely see somebody eat their own bakes on that show.
Mhm.
My man took one good was like, because I know it's good. And I'm like, okay, Jurgen, I see you.
And he does a lot of stuff the hard way too. Like when he's blended by hand. When he's mixed, he really gets in there. That's why I think when it does come to bread week, it's a science. I think he'll do well.
But like I said, they let him practice, so he definitely gonna get it for at least for signature. So I feel like having had some practice rounds to put up some shots, that's what's gonna get him through it. He'll figure out where he's fucking up at, and then by the time it comes to showtime, he'll be fine.
And I don't think Freya's thing, like I don't think her age will play against her. I think the novelty of the vegan stuff might wear off.
They kind of didn't even talk about it that much this week. You know what I'm saying? Like they didn't bring it up as much as they did that first week. And I don't even know if she made everything vegan, this week.
She did. So she did a coconut cream in her
brandy snaps?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I think she's using whatever that egg substitute is.
The aquafaba.
Yeah, for everything.
Okay.
The only time she can't is for the technical challenge. She has to use whatever the ingredients are in the basket. So if she's not used to working with something, that might get her 1 week.
Well, so like what they said in the first week was she only been a vegan for like a year.
Right.
So depending on how long she been baking, she may be able to work around. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
She had to make butter. They had to make butter for that damn malt loaf.
Right.
God, the English, man. Sometimes.
It just didn't sound appealing to me. It was like prunes and shit and butter and
it's just fruitcake.
Yeah, which doesn't sound great.
Maybe fruitcake be hitting if we put butter on it though.
I mean, everything hits with butter on it, right?
No, yeah, I don't think I can come across a fruitcake where I wouldn't have to have a whole damn fruitcake, so we'll never know.
Maybe you should make like a fruitcake French toast.
Maybe.
Why don't you make a malt loaf or whatever it's called?
Ugh, God, the very idea. All right, who's going home next week?
I want Amanda to go, but I think it's going to be Lizzie.
I agree. Lizzie.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see Amanda knowing a thing or two about bread, and therefore Lizzie not. And so,
and I don't want the listening audience to think that I don't like Amanda. I like everybody.
I don't like Amanda.
I don't think there's ever been a person on one of these shows that I disliked as a human. I just feel like an injustice was served.
She a cop. I don't fuck with her.
Well, but they don't have guns.
That's a good point.
She a detective, so I don't know. Maybe I think she just a level up, right?
She swam in that fucking toxic water. What the hell was that? She reminds me of like somebody I work with or something. So I don't dislike Amanda. I just feel like if this was America's Next Top Model and your ass fell off the runway or you couldn't produce a picture, Tyra's sending your ass home. You didn't complete the challenge, baby.
Fair point. I'm sorry, Jerzino. I knew he was going home, though. I knew he was going home this week. That shit was so obvious. Off them damn brandy snaps. I was like, what the fuck is you doing, old man? Come on, bro. It was when he just like slopped the cream into it.
And it's like mushy though.
Ugh.
And Maggie's.
And Maggie, the shit is called Snap. It's in the name.
But I know it's like there's a general style to this shit. And why you want to go all out the blue and start making tarts though? You're the only one who weirded that shit out like that. Everybody else tried to.
I wish we could have seen what got him on the show because I feel like I'm gonna follow him on Instagram and he's like super good at something.
Yeah.
Maybe he's the bread guy. I feel like he's the bread guy.
Man, if he the fucking bread guy, you're gonna get me real salty because then I don't know,
he
man.
Can't decorate for shit, so he gotta be good.
Not for nothing, man. Can we talk about that Liverpool accent of Lizzie?
She sounds like an alien from like another planet.
She sounds straight.
I understand what she's saying.
She sounds out of Game of Thrones, and it made me laugh because she go, "A thesaurus." She sounds like Jon Snow. I was real fucked up off of that shit. And then I was listening to Freya talk, and I was like, "Where the fuck is you from?"
Right.
So I looked up. She's from Scarborough, which is in North Yorkshire.
Cappuccino.
Yeah, which is north and west of London by a bit. No, yes, north and west. So the northwest of England. I was just like, okay, a lot of these blokes from blokes. What the fuck? This what happens when you watch this show. A bunch of them from London, Poole, Birmingham, Maidstone, in Kent. That's where Tom was from. I knew his ass was going home the moment I saw him. I want you to know that shit.
Most definitely.
It was so hopeful for my mans, but like, nah, you going your ass home.
I was hoping he was more of a Jurgen, but he's not.
No, he was not. So.
When he said his illusion cake didn't have no illusion, I was like, dog, what are you doing?
Do some close-up magic or some shit, man. Make it better. Make it work. But that, good Lord. That was week 2 of series 12 of Bake Off.
I don't need to be upset anymore. This is my safe place. This show is my I've been waiting for this during this pandemic. I'm glad this is over. Anybody else who goes home now, I don't really have a great deal of emotional attachment to. Unless they send Jurgen home, then I'm never watching the show.
I can agree with that.
Yeah. I can sign off on that. We were of course joined by the lovely NicJu of What's the Tea podcast fame. You should really be fucking with it. Comes out every Tuesday. It's my shit.
Comes out every week.
Did she co-host with now Tony Award winning Nick Art to the Edge? I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Like, okay, you just
So now I just say that our podcast is the Tony Award winning What's the Tea podcast.
That shit is accurate, and you need to get down with it. She's a great follow on these Twitter streets as well. Also, meanwhile on Twitter becomes a real fun thing you gotta fuck with. I want y'all to know. Anyway, go listen to What's the Tea. It's my shit. You know how this works. Patrons, you get this one first. Rest of y'all get it later. And I hope you enjoy it. I hope y'all fuck with it. Let us know what y'all think of it so far. Because I don't know, I like feedback. I like to know if what we're doing is speaking to you, and if it's not, let me know what we can do better, please and thank you. That's Tatum 216.
Yes.
I am the Editor 713. Catch you next time. Bye.
Hey, what happened to you? You used to be beautiful.